To convert 2/4 to simplest form, write out all the factors of 2 and 4. The greatest common factor is 2, so divide them both by 2. 2/4 equals 1/2, and here's what we do.
To convert
To the simplest form, we gotta find the greatest common factor.
then take
that numerator and denominator and divide them by that common factor. To convert 4/12 to simplest form, write out all the factors of 12 and 4. 4's the greatest common factor, so divide by 4/4 to see. 4/12 equals 1/3.
to convert
To the simplest form, we gotta find the greatest common factor.
then take
that numerator and denominator and divide them by that common factor.
Check it out now. Simple.
Let's pause the video right there for 1 second and see what we've learned. Hi everyone, it's Mr. Mendes. I'm here on the other side of the camera, ready to teach you and to analyze these fun videos that we see together. Okay, I'm gonna turn off the camera, but I just wanted you to know that I'm right here. So the video used words like common factors to reduce fractions. But I want to take a couple of steps back and look at fractions like this one. Here, for example, we have a group of items. Let's say we have 4 candies, or let's say no, we have a pie, and the pie has 4 slices. So our entire pie, which I'm going to draw right here, is cut up into 4 pieces. Okay? Now I only want whipped cream on 2 of them, so I'm going to put some whipped cream on this slice and some whipped cream on this slice. So that means that I have 1 and 2 out of my entire pie, which is 4 slices. Only 2 have whipped cream, you see? 2 out of 4. As you can see, that's half of the pie, right? If I were to color the half of the pie, that's my half right there. And this piece with this piece right here make up half of the entire pie. One way that you can look at it is you can see that on this side of the pie I have 2 slices, right? 1, 2. And on this side of the pie I have also 2 slices. So how many number 2s do I have here? I have 1 of them. And for the entire thing I have 1 number 2 here and 1 number 2 here. You can see here. How many 2s do you see here? You only see 1 of them, right? So you can say there's 1 number 2 right there. And how many 2s do you see in the bottom, number 4? Well, if you were skip counting by 2s, you know that you first say 2 and then you say 4. So here you have, in this number, you have 2 and 2, don't you? So how many number 2s do you have? 1, 2. So let's go ahead and write that down. There's 2 of them. You can also say this is a half. This is 1 part of 2 parts. 1 part of 2 parts. Here's 1 part and another part together. 1 part of 2 parts. A half. A half. 1 is half of 2. Right? So if you have 2, like this, 2, what's half of this number? Only 1. 1 is half of 2. And that's what we mean by a common factor, a factor or a multiple. Here we're counting, you can see that both of these numbers are multiples of 2. So here's 1, 2, and here's 2 of them. For example, if I give you another fraction like 2/6, okay? And we look at both of these numbers, and I know that if I were multiplying by factors of 2, if I was counting by 2s, I would have 1 of them here, right? This is 1, 2 right there. This is 1 of them. But how many 2s do I have in the bottom number? Well, let's count. If we were counting by 2, 2, 4, 6. You see that? How many 2's do you see here? 1, 2, 3. So we have 3 of them. So when I reduce it, I'm saying that 2 over 6 is the same as 1 over 3. Let's look at that pie again. I have my pie, and I have 6 parts, right? Oh, there's 2. There we go. Okay. Do you see that? How we have 6 slices? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? Now, if I were to color 2 of them blue, let's say I color these 2. 1, 2. I have colored 2 out of 6. As you see here, 2 out of 6. But if I were to keep counting by 2, and it had 2 there, and let's just say I color these 2 green, and these 2 green as well. Or, wait, let me go back and undo those green. I'll do those yellow so that you can really see. You can see that I've grouped them now by 2's. 1, 2, 3. So how many are blue? 1 out of 3. 1 out of 3. Let's keep watching the video.
Form and lowest terms are synonyms which you may have heard are two different phrases or words. Its definitions are uniform. Using a geometric model can help us learn what's happening when converting the simplest form. A rectangle shows 5/15. The GCF is 5, which means no greater number. But can divide both 15 and 5. So divide both by 5. Get 1/3 its lowest terms. It's so boss being a nerd.
To convert
To the simplest form, we gotta find the greatest common factor.
Then take
that numerator and denominator and divide them by that common
That
factor.
common factor.
I hope you enjoyed that video and that you learned something from it. And now for this part, what I'd like to do is practice some of the questions that you should have in front of you right now. You have this worksheet from 1 to 12 in front of you. Let's try number 1. For example, in number 1, we can see that both of these numbers, okay, have something in common. You can try counting by 6 on the top. 6 times 1, or one time, only one time, is 6. But what about 6 times 2? What is 6 times 2? Well, 6 times 2, if you were to count by 6 2 times, right? You repeat 6 2 times, you will get 12. So how many 6's are on the top? 1, right? You have 1 on the top. And how many 6's are on the bottom? 2. That's right. There you go. 6 is half of 12. The same way, 1 is half of 2. So this is a half. If you see that you have exactly half on the top of the number on the bottom, we can just write it in simplest form as a half. 1 out of 2, or 1 over 2, a half. Let's try another one. Here we have 2 out of 8, right? You could do this separately if you wanted. You could draw a bar, and that bar I'm going to break it into 2. Then I'm going to break those 2 pieces in half again, and I'll get 4. Then if I want to get 8, I'll break each one of those in half as well, and now I have 8. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many do I have on the top? I have 2 out of 8. I'm going to go ahead and color those red. 2 out of 8. Do I have any more groups of 2 in here? Well, if I were to break it up into groups of 2, I have one group there of 2, then another one, then another one, and then another one. So in total, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 groups of 2. So now I'm no longer counting by 1s, now I'm counting by 2s. And I can see that here I have 1, 2, that's the same thing as here, but then in the entire thing, my entire bar, I have how many groups of 2? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have 1 there, which means I can write 1 out of how many? 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 4. So here I have 1, 2. So 2 times 1. And over here I have 4 of them. 2 times 4. What's my greatest common factor? 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. And 8 divided by 2 is 4. In other words, 2 is 1/4 of 8. 1/4. We can try any of these as well. Now, they start to get a little harder. For those of you that are a little more advanced, you can try this one. You can see how many 12s you have here, and you can see if 36 has any 12s. Or you can try a simpler number. You can find the greatest common factor between these two numbers, which would be 12, because 12 goes into here one time, and how many times does it go here? I'll let you find that out. Go ahead and try number 6 the same way we just did number 2. Okay, let's make a bar. Make a bar. Let's break it up into 6 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Remember, we count the spaces, right? Not the lines. We count the spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So here we have how many? In the numerator we have 2. How many groups of 2 do we have? Do we have any more? Well, here I have 1 group, right? We already know that. Do I have another 2? Yep. And then another 2? Yep. In total, how many do I have? I have 1, 2, 3. 3 groups of 2. How much do I have colored? I have the first one colored. It's a group of 2. So that's 1. And then how many do I have in total? In the 6 parts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? If I were to make it into groups of 2, how many groups of 2 would I have? 3. There you go. So 2 is 1/3 of 6. 1/3. I want you to go ahead and try the rest of them on your own, keeping in mind that you're always going to look for a common multiple or the greatest common factor. For example, here you can see that both of these numbers, if you were to count by tens, you would say 20 and you would say 30, right? If you were to count by tens, you would say 10, 20, 30, right? How many tens did you have to count to get to 20? 1, 2, right? How many tens did you have to count to get to 30? 1, 2, 3, right? So you had to count 2 tens to get to 20, and you had to count 3 tens to get to 30. 2/3. You can simply just take off the zeros, and that is your simplest form right there. 2 3s. Because at the top, how many tens did we say you have? You have 2 tens. 2 times 10. And how many do you have in the bottom? 3 tens. 3 times 10. So that means my greatest common factor is 10. And when you divide both of these by 10, 20 divided by 10 is 2. How many 10s do you have here? You have 2 of them. And how many 10s do you have here? Well, if we were to cut the 30 into pieces of 10, you'll have 3 of them. 10, 20, 30. Okay, go ahead and do the rest of them on your own, and we'll check them when you are done.